Just a quick point of order to add to this footage to a video. Out here doing the walk without doing video today, but something popped in. Well, I just had an experience, so I wanted to get it down. It's not going to be a video of its own. I'll just use the footage in something bigger. So do a post about respect and disrespect. Okay, so every morning at 8 on the TV and from temples and anywhere else, they have the the Thai, I guess, national anthem blaring out. It's not really a flag raising, it's just put out at 8 o'clock every morning, right? And many countries do it. I remember living in Japan every morning. The very beautiful Japanese national anthem. I love it. I did that every morning. I forget what time. But it's bouncing. So just now walking, and there's a temple across the lake, and it came on. It's not very long. It's like a minute. Probably just a section of it, right? I don't know. And everybody stops. In my eye shot, there was myself and one older Thai man who just kept on walking, doing what they do. And people will think, nobody said anything. People will think you're being disrespectful. No, you're not. You're being neutral. They do not get to define what respect is. See, in their mind, in their puny walnut mind, people think this. They say, oh, if you aren't modifying your behavior towards embracing this, overtly showing respect or virtue signaling or whatever it is, then you're being disrespectful. No. You're being neutral. If you show disrespect, you have to modify your behavior from what you're doing. I was just walking, right? So that would be to stop and raise a middle finger in the direction of the sound, towards the temple, moon it, or otherwise show an overt disrespectful behavior. And that's disrespectful, right? I don't do that. Just neutral. Now, the other place they do the anthem with film, and it's all about the king. Just how great the king is. Like showing him in his flight suit and helmet in front of a T-33 from back in the day. He was a Air Force pilot, Anyway, I won't comment more on that because it's frowned upon here in Thailand. Anyway, but I was in the theater to see Maverick, actually. And when that comes on before the thing, and it's actually fairly long. It's a couple minutes at least, right? And I look around, and most people are standing, including basically all foreigners, right? But I look around, there's a lot of Thais still sitting down. More young people. I guess I was like 2 seats away from a younger Thai girl, and she didn't stand up. So I'm like, I'm not standing either. It's just like when they're all about masks, and I go into a place and they'd say, put on a mask. I say, them first. I go, him and her and him and her and him and her. Thai people not wearing a mask. So anyway, that's just some footage for a video later. Put it in something. So the other aspect of that is some people don't consider it disrespectful if you're behaving neutral, in a neutral way. Sorry, got distracted. She was hot. Whew. So if you, so someone will say, if you're doing something neutral, like you're not, don't have your hand over your heart, saluting, standing at attention, whatever it may be, for something like that. National anthems and flag raising and pledges of allegiance, all those sorts of things, right? And they might say, show some respect, or can't you show some respect? Now that's, the better way to say it is not an imperative, a command. Fuck that shit. You don't get to tell me what to do. But they could say politely, could you show some respect, please? Or you don't want to stand, do whatever they're doing, whatever people are doing for that particular thing. And a couple ways to handle that. You can just say no. That's kind of gruff. That's almost like, no, I want to be disrespectful. I don't want to be disrespectful. I just don't want to, I don't particularly respect, I don't hold it in revere. I'm not reverent about it, right? Everybody else can do what they wish. And I'm not going to criticize that. It's like people who pray and do all their things that they do associated with God and country, putting it in a big basket. I think the better way to put it is to say something like, well, that would be like lying. I don't hate it. I'm not disrespecting. I'm just being neutral, but I don't hold it in reverence. And so to do so would be like lying. That's the way to answer it, I think. Yeah, it's up to you. Do what you like. Okay, so let's use an absurd example. Maybe I'll come up with a second one, but let's go to the most absurd, right? So this just might be a post of its video of its own and a post of its own. I'm doing it in chunks as I think of more things, right? Less editing. So suppose you're in the midst of sex, whether it's foreplay or whether it's intercourse or whatever, you're in the middle of it. All right. So let's say you're inside and the TV's on and some sort of reverential or anthem kind of thing comes on. How about you're watching the Olympics, right? The national anthem comes on. Do you stop? If you don't, you're just you're right there. Or she's right there. Or if it's a woman watching this, one of the few. It's crazy, my analytics. It's 95% guys to 5% women. They're watching TikTok, or they're doing their own videos on OnlyFans or whatever. So one or the other, or both of you are right there, you know what I mean? And something like that comes on TV. Do you stop? Is continuing a show of disrespect? Or does the respect of your sexual partner outweigh whatever respect you might hold for God and country? Food for thought. Okay, I got a tougher one for you. Tougher one than stopping sex to show respect, or to not show disrespect, or however someone is reading this. Okay, so one day One day, you know, people that are like, you know, hard, you know, fringe leftists, atheist activists, not just the non-believers like me. I'm a non-believer in literal interpretation, though I appreciate and have a measure of respect for the societal force for good that that religion has. So the hard left, the fringe left, the atheist activists, Antifa, and BLM, they get rejected by society, ostracized someday. I know it's quite a fantasy, isn't it? Right? But I'm the one that gets to make this stuff up. So they are ostracized, and they're nobody's helping them. So on the verge of like starvation, thirst, right? And you, being a good-hearted person, take pity. You organize and you get some truckloads full of water and food, and you're there distributing it. And it's near a temple, and the anthem goes up, the flag's getting raised, you know, all the pomp and circumstance that you can imagine. And but these people are hungry now. Do you stop and show overt respect for something that they have disdain for, and you have taken pity on them and are helping them out? You know, a good Samaritan, turning the other cheek, what would Jesus do? You know, all that stuff. So, are you off the hook then? Or what? The final one. And that should be it. But this is a little different. Swearing an oath. All right. I don't think they do it anymore, but it was pretty commonplace in America for a long time. Not sure what they've done in other countries. But you know, raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. You know, swear on the word of God, you know, to solemnly swear, right? Now, what if you're a non-believer or an atheist or what, you know, and you're not interested in burning the Bible, you're not interested in taking a piss on it or any of those overt showings of disrespect. And in fact, like me, think that the Bible is a great work of literature, and it contains many moral lessons, some better than others, and some downright self-destructive. But you know, hey, it's a long book. It's a long book, right? And it's not a single author. And it wasn't inspired, or else there wouldn't be so many weird things in it. So anyway, there you have it. So what would the response be? Is that, you know, legally swearing the oath is enough. You know, then you are if you lie, then you're guilty of or you set yourself up to be prosecuted for perjury. You know this going in, all right? So the Bible adds nothing to it, and it's rather manipulative, right? Not to mention kind of a virtue signal of the state, you know, on and on and on. It's a power game. It's just like judges. Why do you think they're up high above everybody else on a bench right? And wearing a robe, right? Why? Why can't he just sit there in a, business attire or suit and tie, at a normal desk that's sitting on the floor like a businessman, because it is, and do it that way. No, but that's what the state does. What do you think all the edifice is for? The marble, they're beautiful, right? They're awesome, historical. It's an insight into our culture and all of that. But that's the extent of it, right? Do you go, and if you go and see the Acropolis and Parthenon in Athens, which I've been to like 3 times, and every time has been closed, because I don't plan ahead for shit like that. So, I think you get the idea. I mean, would you go up there and start bowing before it? No, because it's ancient. Well, someday the Bible is going to be pretty ancient too. Mark my words. But doesn't mean you still can't appreciate it, right? Just like the old buildings and statues, the art, it should take its proper place as cultural art. Should. It's rather a remarkable achievement for its time. Okay, I think that does it for this.